Hello, hello, hello. Let's go, baby. New gym. Who dis? Who dis? New gym, which is exciting because when you have a baseline of principles for your training, you can go to any gym or be without a gym and still create a stimulus that you desire, still create the adaptation that you desire, still get to where you want to go. And it's more exciting. There's no concern or risk when you're in a new place if you can still maintain the progress that you've been making and getting where you're going. For example, I've been doing more like free weight calf and tibialis work, and there's a cool machine in this gym and I saw it and I was like, oh, I'm gonna use that 100%. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that I will still continue on my progress of my goals towards improving my ankle mobility, my strength, my calf, my tibialis strength, mobility and hypertrophy. I want succulent calves, guys, but not for the sake of succulence. I think they're already pretty succulent, but I want them to be more useful, athletic, powerful, get me jumping higher, moving faster, and enabling my ankles to go through a greater range of motion, better support for the knee. And there was a new machine, and with the principles of training each joint in the body through a full range of motion, while also adapting, providing a stimulus for the muscles surrounding that joint in order to create that adaptation. When you have that principle down and understood, you can be anywhere and provide a stimulus. You could be in India traveling, which I was, and I still took some weeks off, of course. I'm not crazy. But then when I got back into training over there, I still was able to create a stimulus. Because I understood, alright, if you want to improve your range of motion, if you want to improve your hypertrophy, the amount of muscle that you have, your strength in a certain area, if you even want to get out of pain in a certain joint, you've got knee pain, what does that look like? How are you going to get there? And what I would say is find a movement. For example, the knee over toe split squat that you're seeing here, where you can take that knee joint through a full range of motion, as well as the ankle and the hip. But let's focus on the knee. You got knee pain, or you simply want to be a better jumper, you want to be better at running. The knee is involved in that. You want to strengthen the joints around the knee as well as the muscles. And if you approach the principle of, in order to do that, I need to adapt the tissues, stimulate those tissues surrounding the knee, the big muscles, the quads, the hamstrings, the calves, in order to build strength and ability in that knee. I haven't even had coffee and I'm speaking so well, I don't know how I do it. But once you understand, in order to get that joint out of pain or to become more athletic, you're on a, what do you call it? God, I gotta think of this. I was talking in big game about my language skills being on point, my charisma being there, and now it absolutely leaves me because I can't think of a word. A spectrum. You're on a spectrum. Pain, athletic ability. Talking about the knee joint, how do we get from there to there? Take that joint through initially as large a pain-free range of motion as you can. It could be a squat. It could be a knee over toe split squat, with the knee as an example. Take all those muscles through that range, but how much weight to use, how much effort to put in on each set, how much, God, I've got bananas coming out of me. How much effort to put in on each set, how many reps to do, and that's where you've got to go to the principles of how to manipulate your tissues. So you have this principle of, I want to improve the ability of this joint. Now you've got to do, and we know how to do that, we just discussed it, work on the tissues surrounding it. Whether that's to get you out of pain or to improve your athletic ability. So now we know we've got to work those tissues. But how do you know how hard you want to work them? So you could be anywhere and you can take that joint through a range of motion. But if you just do one knee over toe split squat, do you think that's enough? Maybe for someone. But then how do you know how far to progress it if that's too easy, or if you feel like you're not getting a stimulus? Because a stimulus is kind of, you want a new stimulus. You want to progressively improve the amount of stimulus that those tissues can take and grow from and handle without increasing pain or decreasing performance over the long term. In order to judge if you're providing a good enough stimulus, over time, the best indicator is, of course, your ability to do more in the gym, in that movement pattern, in that full bend of the knee. If you can do more reps, if you can do more weight, if you can do more sets, if you can do it at a more controlled tempo, these sorts of things show that you are building the ability of those muscles and that joint because of the adaptations that you're taking through that tissue through. But to be more specific, when you're in the middle of a set, when do you know to stop? When do I know to stop? It's fantastic questions. To provide a hypertrophic stimulus of those tissues, that's optimal. You want to be around 5 reps away from failure as a kind of minimum. And over the training cycle, as you continue to do the same exercise over and over again, which you should, to maximize the stimulus to fatigue ratio that you'll get from that exercise. So for example, we're doing these VMO squats, and my aim is, at the end of this set, is to be about 5 to 3 reps away from failure. And that's kind of hard to judge. 1 second. Hello? Yes? Sorry guys, brief distraction. Back to business. But yeah, as you can see on this set, the reps get slower, they get harder. My quads are in a bit of pain, call it pain. I can feel my muscles working and it hurts and it sucks. The reps get slower. You want those reps to be significantly slower before you stop. To get close enough to failure. And how do you know if you've achieved that? Sometimes you've got to take yourself all the way to failure to know how far away you are. And that's, of course, a moving target, depending on how you're feeling on the day, and psychological factors, physiological factors, yeah, if you didn't sleep very well, etc., etc. And one thing I used to avoid, because I used to think like, yeah, if I'm sore, it doesn't identify progress. And I heard that on YouTube when I was a young lad, and then I almost avoided soreness. But I've completely done a 180 on that. I think it's good to be sore sometimes. I think a good way to tell if you're training hard enough to create that adaptation, that stimulus, these principles that we're talking about, a really good way to judge that is how those tissues feel the next day. How do those quads feel? How does those hamstrings feel? How do those calves feel? Do they feel tender? Are they so sore that you can't walk upstairs? That might mean you've done too much. Or it might mean you've done it enough if you've taken a few days off after that, training that joint. But yeah, aim for a little bit of soreness. Like, not like debilitating soreness, but you want to feel like they've done some work. You don't want to feel nothing. I kind of feel like if you feel nothing, you left a bit too much in the tank. So try and push yourself. Don't be afraid. Oh, that's huge, man. That's huge. Don't be afraid to push yourself every set. Make sure that form is dialed in. But as well, simultaneously, get after it. Stay focused in your set. Don't do other things. There's no music in the ears when I'm working out. There's nothing else. There's one focus to become a better physical meat sack. Become a better sack of meat. Give my body more ability over time through motion in space. I hope you got some value from this video. I hope you have a good day, and send me an email if you want some coaching. Let's go, baby. Peace out.